Hey guys, it's Jazz coming to you from the Starfish Mission in downtown San Francisco, the Center for Decentralization. So let's talk about some of the things that are really going to apply to where most of the people who are going to be watching this are going to be at, which is you're working on a side project or a passion project, or maybe it's your startup, maybe it's an ICO, maybe it's something in blockchain, maybe it's just getting a blog or a podcast off the ground. In that case, you probably have some kind of full-time day job, or maybe you have a sort of constellation of side hustles. We're in San Francisco. This is sort of the norm for most of us, right? We go to the salt mine so we can live in a furnace chicken coop for a lot of us, right? So something that's going to really be helpful to get a really firm grasp on is time management and learning how to spark creative thinking systematically. Not just waiting for the lightning to strike, but actually learning how to budget time for big picture thinking. So most of what I'm going to be relaying to you are really the best of what I've picked up over the years. And these really come from two people. John C. Maxwell, sort of considered the foremost expert on leadership, really, and also Brian Tracy, who has been a sort of what you might call a sales guru or a sort of a business consultant, sales consultant. He's the the best-selling author on time management of all time, actually. So between the two of these guys, there's a lot of good nuggets that I want to pass on to you. Number one is the idea of scheduling your thinking. There's nothing about the demands of your bills or the projects you're working on or your relationships that is going to oblige you to engage in deep reflective thought. However, nothing changes until your thinking changes, as we all know. So make that a discipline. Make that a discipline like anything else you do. And the easiest way to do that is just to set aside 30 minutes at the end of every day to just go ahead and think. Go ahead and think about, it's just open-ended time for you to think. Looking over the day that you've had, thinking about what you're going to be doing tomorrow, thinking about, well, I'll give you some prompts in a second that you're going to use to sort of facilitate the introspection. But essentially 30 minutes every day, at the end of every week, take an hour. So an hour on Sunday. And then at the end of every month, take half a day. So let's say on the last Sunday of the month or whatever it might be, let's say from noon till you go to bed, just clear your calendar once a month and just think about stuff. And then once a year, maybe take a week just to think. Take a week off to actually really look at everything that's going on in your life, look at everything that's happened in the last year, look at where you want to be going and what you want to be doing for the next year. Now see, all that works because every single day you're doing a little bit. Every week you're doing one day with a little bit more. Every month you're doing a bit more. And then once a year you're doing a whole lot, right? So this is how the vision and the goals and the plans all sort of keep talking to each other, right? So here's an example of something that you can do when you set aside time to think. Because if you're like any of the people that I run into over here at Starfish, you're trying to innovate. You're trying to look at common problems in new ways. You're trying to use the technology that you're working with that's at a frontier level in ways that will service the needs of millions upon millions of people, all right? So that means that doesn't just happen by accident. You don't just wake up one day and you have the answer, right? It only happens to a handful of people in history, right? Don't bet on that person being you. Systematize it, make it a discipline. So, for example, you can sit down and you can set a piece of paper in front of yourself, and at the top, you can say, put a what-if question, or put some kind of question at the top, and force yourself to write 25 answers to it. So one of those could be, what have I not tried yet? Or, how could I spend more time working on blank? Or, how could I improve, again, fill in the blank. I want to keep it vague because as I'm talking about this, you know much better than I do what you're working on, and I'm assuming that a lot of these things are actually coming to mind right now as we're talking through it. So you know what these pertinent things are. You know that kind of sort of sinking feeling in your gut when you realize what you've been neglecting. And part of me just talking about this right now is actually bringing that feeling up, because we're talking about where has your attention not been. And I guarantee you that is the reason that whatever is slowing down or not moving forward or backsliding to the point where it's causing you a sort of generalized, diffused anxiety perhaps, are the things that you're now remembering right in this moment. So get a piece of paper and pose a question pertinent to that at the top, and write down 25 things you could do. The first 3 to 5 are going to be easy, but to actually come up with 25 viable ideas is no small task. Well, you can do that every single day. So imagine out of 25 ideas, maybe for 1 week, try the same proposition, the same question, 25 new ideas a day for a week, right? Maybe 3 of those actually make sense the next morning. Maybe at the end of a week, you've got 5 out of 100 and how many, or how many hundreds, right? So 5 new ideas a week. How many ideas is that a month? How many ideas is that a year? Your life is really measured in the number of new ideas that you're able to entertain and embrace and cultivate and implement routinely to the level of subconscious repetition. That now your habits are actually reinforcing and cementing new innovative ideas. So just go ahead and think about that for a little bit, look at how you can work that into your day, and I guarantee you, if you're one of these guys who's trying to disrupt things or innovate or push the envelope, making it a discipline in the midst of all of your demands is going to really be a game changer for you. Well guys, thanks for your time. We'll talk again soon.